Yeah. Yep.
Danny Cunningham, ESPN Cleveland. JB, how big was Donovan for you guys tonight? 43 points, 17 and 27, had 17 in the fourth. What did he do to lift you guys?
I mean, every one of them was needed too. He was there to stop momentum, to stop runs, to give us momentum when we needed it. I think it's, again, that will to win. Want to help your team however you can, and kind of pull the train, on the offensive end.
It seemed like throughout the game, you guys were able to push it out to 9 or 10, and then the Lakers would crawl back and tie it or take the lead. And then what was different about that last time you guys were able to push it out?
I think our defense. In the fourth quarter, we held them to 19 points. But I think, in that third quarter, there were too many loose balls that we didn't win. There were opportunities, where the scrap was on the line, and I thought they won in those moments. The fourth quarter, I thought we won the scrap. Defense is based on.
Kelsey was the athletic. I know we talk about Jarrett a lot, but he went 9 for 9 early in the first quarter and everything. How much does just his presence change things on both ends of the floor and the way that he was able to get into the paint tonight?
He can dominate the painted area on both ends of the floor. Everybody knows, like, you win the paint, you win the game. And, he set the tone early that he was going to go out and he was going to dominate the painted area. Our guards did a great job of getting him the ball, and now you've got a tough decision to make. Do you stop the ball handler or do you stop Jarrett, in the paint where he's so efficient? And then defensively, like I thought tonight, we asked him to do a lot. He had to guard LeBron on the perimeter, then he would guard a big. So I thought he had to do a lot in his first night back. I thought he was phenomenal.
Going off of that, obviously missing 5 games and dealing with that low back contusion, just the way that he was able to play so comfortably too. Was that good to see just in this process of coming back?
Yeah, you got fresh legs. Yeah. But no, it's like, and that's where we're hopeful at some point, like the group gets together, because the team does fit. And, we just need more games, more reps together so we can continue to grow.
Tom with his AP. JB, what does it mean to have a guy like Donovan who he wants those moments? He wants the ball in that kind of situation. What does that mean for a young team?
It's leadership. It's a guy that you can depend on in the thick of it, which, isn't always easy and not everybody wants it. But, he gives confidence to everybody on the floor because they believe in him and they know that he's capable of it. But he doesn't do it in a way that takes away from other people. He empowers his teammates around him. He shares the ball. Like, he's not coming down just every possession and it's just about him. He comes down in the possession about is what's the best shot available. And if that's a pass because they double team him, he makes the pass. If it's his shot, he takes his shot. If it's attack and drop off to the big, he makes that play. So it's not and it's, to be honest with you, it's unique in that, in his ability to take and make big shots, but to empower his teammates at the same time.
John Rutter, Sports Illustrated Media Group. Kind of piggybacking off of Kelsey's question. Anytime we talk about Jarrett, we talk about his presence around the rim or his defense, but we maybe underestimate him as like a jump shot shooter. Just how good is his jump shot?
It's consistent. I think he doesn't get a lot of them, which is good for us because teams don't scout it. But he's capable, of knocking down the 15 to 17-foot jumper. But he understands when to take it. He knows where his strength is. He plays to his strength. And then if you leave him in a space, he's confident knocking it down.
Do you guys have any maybe concerted effort to kind of get him involved early since he did have kind of the layoff?
I think it was more what the defense was giving us. He was in the paint and he was open, and his teammates just made the right decision. And then, he had the job in finishing.
Spencer Davies, basketballnews.com. We've talked about in the past how you guys kind of come up with counters when the pick and roll offense doesn't work. But do you sense a general just comfortability and natural feel when Donovan and Darius have Jarrett in there setting screens and then opening things up?
Yeah, it by the numbers is elite pairings. And it's not just as easy as it may look. It's more scientific than we give it credit for. Right, understanding angles, understanding timing, understanding defenses and rotations, like it's calculated. And I think from both standpoints, like Jarrett has the calculations down. The guards have the calculations down. It's just more so about them playing more together. And the more they play together, the more lethal it's going to be.
Bailey Burmaster, Cleveland 19 News. How do you just describe Donovan? This leader, he empowers everyone around him. I know it's early, but how has he measured up to meshing with this team? Because team chemistry was a big thing last year, and he has just flawlessly kind of found a way to be that person. But I'm also curious, has he also met your expectations or almost exceeded them?
I had a bunch of conversations with people who worked with him in the past, and, they raved about him. But you never really know until you get a guy in your building and you're with him every single day. And he has exceeded all things that, we thought and what people had said about talented as he is and to fit as seamlessly as he does. And to want to fit, right? Most superstars, they can tend to end up being outliers, especially when going into a new group. And that's why it's difficult in the beginning to find that chemistry. Before, the season started, when the trade happened, like he was in Nashville, I think it was like 2 days after the fact, and he was with the group because he wanted to be a part of it. I think it was after his birthday. Like he was there on his birthday to be with the group. And that just speaks to how much, what type of person he is and the character that he has.
Okay, just gonna wrap it up, Coach.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Coach. Have a good night.
I was doing it.
Danny Cunningham, Cleveland. Jared, after a 5-game absence, how did it feel for you back on the floor tonight?
It felt good. A little tired out there, to be honest, but it just felt good being with the teammates, running up and down the court, playing defense, and just communicating with them.
I think you had 14 points in the first quarter. It seemed like everything offensively was running through you early in the game.
No, it was just, honestly, I feel like it was right place, right time. My teammates kept looking for me. They felt like they had the help off of me to stop Donovan and DG, and it just left me wide open down there.
Chris Fedor, Cleveland.com. Hey, Jared.
Hey, how you doing?
Good. How are you?
Good.
I know JB talked and some of the players talked before the game about trying to approach this as any other game, but obviously some games feel bigger. Did this one feel bigger to you guys?
I mean, absolutely. You have somebody going for the scoring title, coming home to Cleveland. As much as you want to say it's not a bigger game, at the end of the day, the whole world knows that it is. But we wanted to minimize it and play our game. We wanted to play Cleveland Cavalier basketball and try to stick to our own roots as much as we could.
What's it say about Donovan Mitchell that he's able to have the kind of performance that he did tonight with LeBron on the other side?
He's always locked into what he's doing. It doesn't matter, he could be playing Bugs Bunny from Toon Squad, Since LeBron's played tonight, he could be playing anybody. He's going to be locked in, ready to play his hardest, and he's not going to let the moment outshine him.
What did you see from him tonight?
And I know he didn't have the best first half, but still he came into the second half defensive minded, get stops, and I think that helped him in offensive mode.
Kelsey here's the athletic. Jared, when you're on the offensive end, and they are taking like the shots away from Donovan and Darius, where's
Right.
your mindset at, like what you're looking for and how you just approach being able to get into the paint the way you do?
Right. I just try to find the open area because, DG, and he has the amazing floater. Donovan has his pull-up game. So my man's going to go help and try to contest it. So I'm just trying to get into the open window where they can find me and dish it to me at the last second.
Spencer Davies, basketballnews.com. I'm not really exactly sure how to put this, but JB talked about how you kind of bring a vertical spacing, even though you're not your typical guy that's on the outside shooting threes, but
Right.
your presence still tracks people and it opens things up for the other guys.
Mm-hmm.
What do you make of that kind of comment, saying that you have that kind of gravity despite not being a typical shooter?
It's a thing, if just in terms of lobs, if my man steps up, he can throw the lob to me and I can finish it. A lot of guys can jump in the league, but being down there just ready for the lob, I don't even know how to explain it, honestly. I'm trying to make something up. But it's just a thing in the league. Lobs, just being able to be there whenever your man helps off of you. That's the best I know.
Thanks, Jay.
Tom Withers, AP. Yeah, lived really well there.
Thank you.
Hey, what is it? I'm sorry if you've been asked about Donovan previously. What does it mean to have a guy that wants the big moment like he does?
I don't know if he wants the big moment. I know that he's ready for the big moment whenever it happens, and he's ready to step up and take the moment full on and excel in it.
All right, anything else, guys? Nice, Jay. That's right.
I was just gonna ask you how this Pokemon treating you.
Yeah, I knew that's why I wanted it. It's good so far.
Thanks for calling me out.
No, you're good. You're good. I'm trying to catch them all this time. Just beating it normal. I want to go through it and get every Pokemon. Appreciate you guys.
Yes, thank you. Lord. What am I doing?
A little better shot.
Chris Fedor, hey Donovan,
Chris.
some kind of night for you tonight. What was working so well?
At the beginning, just trying to, find the rhythm, find the game, and a lot of it was making plays, and honestly letting Jarrett Allen take over really the first quarter. And then as they started to come back into it, trying to put my imprint on the game, attacking the rim, getting to the basket. And like I said, when it started with JA. Once you have your big, setting the tone in the paint, you got to worry about him, and it allows all of us to kind of get in there and create and finish. And once we got to the second half, just they came back, started out strong, and just responded. Finding ways to continue to just find a way to lead, and whether it was on the defensive end or on the offensive end, just got to my spots and made some shots.
Jay was talking about how this wasn't any other game. It was the Lakers. It was LeBron, national TV. You've had big moments throughout the course of your career. What would it mean for you to have this kind of game on this stage against LeBron?
Yeah, I said it to Jarrett earlier. It's crazy. Like, I grew up watching him here. The ovation, it really hit for me, like a full circle moment, when I watched him get that standing ovation, when they played his intro, I kind of sat there on the the stanchion or whatever and just kind of watched the reception he got, and that it's incredible. It's well deserved. He's one of the greatest players of all time. Brought a championship, the only championship to this franchise, and you always got to have respect and admiration for that. And hopefully we can do something similar. But it's definitely an honor to be out there and to play against one of the greats and to get a dub too in his hometown and in front of our home crowd. And I think I don't know the history of the games. I don't know what the games have been like before this one, but I just know, is that? Oh, well, I'm just glad we got the win. You know what I mean? Like, I think that's huge. And, he understands the TV game. He's returning and whatnot. So try to find a way to lead the guys to a win. And, we did that.
Tom with his AP. JB talked about this earlier, how when LeBron was here, he kind of set a standard for this organization. You followed him as a fan. What does it mean now to be playing here and kind of not necessarily following in his footsteps? You're trying to make your own legacy, but to set your own standard after what he did here.
Yeah, I think there's a level of excellence that he brought to the city. When the way he's revered as an athlete, I think the first initial thought you think of the Cleveland Cavaliers, you think of Bron. I don't think that's no disrespect to the Lakers or the Heat. Like that's when you think of Bron, you think of Cleveland. And, he set that precedent. You look at what he's done here in his career in 2 different stints, to be the only team to come back down from 3 run, leading that group. Obviously, K-Love is here. So I asked K-Love about a bunch of stories, and I'm like, it's funny. I asked him about Kelly Olynyk the other day when he did the shoulder thing. It's funny because like I'm watching that as a fan and I'm screaming at the TV. So it's like it's really cool. Like, to be honest with you, to be able to be here and be in a situation where as a kid you're literally watching games in front of a TV and now you're a part of this. So like I said, he set a standard. And we just want to honestly go out there and try and win the championship. And like when you have a guy and have a group and have a team that wants to continue to build. It's great when you have that on our team, and starts with our owner all the way, trickles down. You feel the energy, you feel it, and I think we can be something special. But we got a lot of work to do and continue to build.
Kelsey Rose of The Athletic. Donovan, why does Jarrett's presence change things for you guys so much on both ends of the floor?
He's one of the elite shot blockers in the league. His finishing with either hand, able to roll, able to set screens, able to understand the pick and roll game, understand where to be. He gives us so much versatility on that end, and he makes Evan's job easier as well. He allows Ev to be in those positions. He makes all of our lives easier. But when you have 2 bigs down there, especially, and he's the head of the snake, being down there, and he doesn't take that lightly. He goes out there and sets the tone every night. And you look at a night like tonight, he started out and came out the gate strong, especially after 5 games. Typically after 5 games, you're trying to find your way and get your win back. And he was out there making all the plays. And that's the Jarrett Allen we all know, and that's the type of player he's always been. And we missed him down their lineup, and we're glad he's back.
How is it just like just open up things offensively? Because obviously, when guys are guarding you or Darius, it does leave like Jarrett or even Evan open down in the paint. But like, how does it just, I guess?
Yeah, you got to pick. You got to pick if you want us to take a layup. If you want him to get a dunk. At the end of the day, and even when you hit him in the pocket, he's able to finish. That's not the case for a lot of bigs that roll the way he does. That's why I'm the beneficiary of a lot of those in the lane. So is Darius, and then you also get to the point where the big cops up, and that's where you get the lob. So you really have to just pick, and when you have a group that's unselfish and wants to make those plays, it goes a long way.
Bailey.
Bailey Burmaster from the 19 News. JB was very complimentary of you and what you do on the court when it comes to the other guys. You give them confidence, you empower them. I'm curious how you feel the players in JB have impacted your game the most since being
There's so many ways I can go. I think the biggest thing for them is they hype me up, like, in different ways. Like it's funny. Like they're at a point where it's like, nah, like keep going. Like I'm trying to calm down and be like, no, we got 3 minutes left. They're like, nah, you going crazy. Like you know what I mean? Like it's fun, and then I'm appreciative of it. And JB, when I first got here, it was just more like just be yourself, and that gives you comfort coming into a new situation and a new standard. And these guys look to me, and I appreciate that, and I'm starting earning their respect, and I think from the jump, that was the biggest thing, is understanding that they believe in me as much as I believe in them. And it allows me to go out there and play this way. And when I'm not playing to my standard, they hold me accountable. Like, like I talked about Lamar Stevens doing that a few weeks ago or whatever, so it's the relationship you want. JB's holding me accountable, coaching staff, whatever it may be. And when you have that trust from your guys, it's great. And it allows you to go be free.
Going off of that, JB also said you're a superstar, but you're a superstar that's willing to play the part right, especially in a team dynamic like this. Why is that so easy for you?
Quite frankly, because of my time in Utah. I give a lot of credit to my teammates who, like especially Ricky, Joe, Mike Conley, JC, like there's so many guys, Royce, Rudy, like they allowed me to be into that role, but also were giving me tips on how to be a certain level of player, but also understand that it's a team game. It's not just about one person. And I've always known that, but when you get to this level, there's certain things, there's certain plays, there's certain things you say, there's certain ways you go about on a day-to-day basis that, it empowers everyone around you. And at the end of the day, I can do whatever I want to do on the floor, but at the end of the day, I can't do it without the guys around me, without my coaching staff. And, it really started for me my rookie year, and Ricky Rubio was huge, and, having him here is great. So, allowing me, to kind of be into that role at an early age, early in my career. And now that I'm 6 years in, it's starting to be like, I'm the one like trying to teach now. So it's kind of funny how that works. But, that's really where it was my first year, after like 13 games, it was just like, all right, go be you. And there were mistakes made along the way, but understanding how to lead a team and how to be that guy.
As to Brendan and Demaris.
Brendan Goulet, Cavs Insider, Sports Illustrated Media Group. I know it's not on your mind while you're playing, the idea that you're playing against LeBron and what he means to the city. It's pretty obvious that you respect and have great perspective of his time here, the fan base's passion for him. Is there a part in like your preparation for a game like this where you're telling yourself, hey, I'm trying to elevate because I know what I'm walking into and I know how revered he is in the situation?
Yeah, you always, like, it doesn't matter who it is, you always want to spoil the homecoming. Like, I think that's just a competitor, and you always want to do that. But, I said it to the guys in the huddle, like, there's going to be a lot. It's going to be a lot going on. There's going to be cheers at the free throw for him. There's going to be boos for him. There's going to be cheers for us. It's going to be like, there's going to be so much emotion. And at the end of the day, we just got to play 48 minutes of our basketball. At the end of the day, you can't get caught up in all that. And I think that's what we did tonight as a group. But this it's not an easy thing to do for everybody. Everybody's personally different. I think for myself, just finding ways to take it day by day, a moment by moment in the game, not making the moment too big, and but also in embracing what's around. I'm not the type to be like, all right, like just ignore the fact that he's back. Like it's I was watching him as a kid. Like, it was pretty dope. I sat there on the stanchion and watched the crowd give him a standing ovation. Like, that was cool. It was great to see. But, in the same token, you allow yourself to be a part of the moment, but understand that, you can't let that deter you, take you away from, getting a stop, boxing out, getting a rebound, being able to play in different situations. And that was just my message tonight. But you can't run away from it. You got to be able to embrace it, understand it's going to be there. You're going to feel that emotion, and got to play through it.
It's a couple weeks ago that the MVP chancellor at the free throw line kind of gave you the yips there for a minute. You getting more used to that?
Yeah, I made sure I made the free throw tonight.
Where's McNeese Chronicle Telegram? Donovan, you sort of touched on it a little bit, but I'm wondering with Jarrett back and changing the dynamic, just your assessment of how cohesive this team is playing, like as a unit right now, playing together as a group, even through with Jarrett or without, or just even through some of these different lineups.
Yeah, that's also the sign of a team you want to be. You look at the different teams around the league who have been to the finals or been far in the playoffs, the Milwaukees, the Golden States, the Bostons. You can keep going down the line. There's going to be guys in and out. And ultimately, you have to, the Phoenix as well. Like, you look at them being able to have guys come in and out the lineup and can still continue to keep that level of play. That's what we're ultimately trying to get to. It's always great to have, our whole team there, but that's not always going to be the case. And understanding that everybody's going to have to step up in their moment and what they do. And we're building that. We're learning that, and we're building that. And it's been great in times, and there's been times like we lost 5 in a row. We lost games we shouldn't have. But that's all part of the building process and learning and getting used to each other and getting used to that. And ultimately, it just builds confidence with everybody. And the thing about this group is we have guys that, even if they don't play, like Raul Neto, for example, may not play, he played a minute 43 seconds tonight, but we all know for a fact if you gave him a 25, 30-minute stint, he knows exactly where to be, how to run an offense. So that's the best part about this group is that we know where to be, and, we're continuing to build that as a group.
Great. Thanks, Don.
Thank you.
Thanks,
How do you feel about Verlander?
I'm happy.